Welcome back to our channel, where we explore the wonders of the universe and the peculiarities of life beyond our planet. Today, we're diving into a mind-bending phenomenon that has left the Galactic Council in utter chaos and disbelief. Imagine a species so audacious, so delightfully unpredictable, that they can bend the very fabric of reality with just a few casual words. Yes, you guessed it. Today, we're talking about humans and their uncanny ability to say, "Hold my drink," and then accomplish the impossible. Now you might be wondering, how can mere words have such power? What is it about this phrase that seems to unlock a hidden potential within humans, allowing them to perform feats that defy the laws of physics and probability? From stabilizing failing reactors to executing impossible maneuvers in space, the evidence is overwhelming. In this video, we'll take you on a journey through the galaxy, exploring the bewildering incidents that have occurred whenever humans utter those fateful words. We'll hear from the Galactic Council members who are grappling with the implications of these events, and we'll witness firsthand the chaos and hilarity that ensues when humans get involved. So, grab your favorite beverage, sit back, and prepare to be entertained as we unravel the mysteries behind this bizarre phenomenon and discover how humanity has become the galaxy's most entertaining source of controlled chaos. Our story begins in the Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council, a vast and ornate hall filled with representatives from various alien species, each more bizarre than the last. High Counselor Dax, a crystalline being pulsing with concern, calls an emergency session. The atmosphere is thick with tension, as the topic at hand is nothing less than the behavioral anomalies observed in the newly discovered human species. Admiral Kral, a towering reptilian with shimmering blue scales and a chest full of medals, steps forward. His voice, usually steady and commanding, carries an unusual tremor as he presents a disturbing report. "Esteemed council members," he begins, "I come before you with the most alarming findings of my career. It appears that when humans utter the phrase, 'hold my beverage,' they seem to defy the very laws of probability itself." As Kral speaks, the council members exchange incredulous glances. The holographic display behind him flickers to life, showcasing footage from a standard first contact scenario. A human diplomatic vessel encounters a Zanari mining operation in the Orion sector, where the Zanari ship is experiencing a critical reactor failure. The containment field is collapsing, and the situation looks dire. "Watch closely," Kral instructs, enhancing the audio. The recording shows Captain Tom Wilson on his bridge, listening intently to the Zanari's distress call. His expression shifts from concern to that peculiar human expression known as a grin. "Sir," a crew member says, "the Zanari reactor is beyond saving. Their containment field mathematics are fundamentally flawed." In a moment that would become legendary, Wilson stands up, hands his coffee mug to his startled first officer, and declares, "Hold my coffee, I've got an idea." The council gasps collectively as they witness Wilson proceed to rewrite advanced quantum mechanics equations using nothing but basic arithmetic and what he calls eyeballing it. Miraculously, the Zanari ship's reactor not only stabilizes, but begins operating at an astonishing 143% efficiency. Admiral Kral continues, "This is just the beginning. We have documented 247 similar incidents in the past standard month alone. Each time a human utters the phrase, 'hold my beverage,' they accomplish feats that should be statistically impossible." The council is left in a state of disbelief, grappling with the implications of these events. Could it be that humans are low-level reality warpers, or is it simply that they don't know what's impossible? To illustrate further, Kral switches to another recording from Space Station Gamma 9. A human maintenance worker named Joe approaches a malfunctioning gravity generator. Aurelian engineer explains that the quantum harmonics would take weeks to recalibrate. Joe, unfazed, hands his drink container to the engineer and says, "Hold my beer, watch this." What follows is nothing short of miraculous. Joe kicks the generator, in 3 precise locations, completely violating every known principle of quantum mechanics. The generator instantly begins working better than when it was new. The council members are left murmuring in disbelief, their minds racing to comprehend the implications of such actions. Perhaps we should ban these beverages, suggests a hive mind representative, buzzing in confusion. But Kral shakes his head. We tried that. The humans simply switched to saying, "Hold my juice box," with identical results. The council erupts into chaos, with representatives shouting over one another, each trying to make sense of the madness. High Counselor Dax raises all four hands for silence. Admiral, what do you propose we do about this situation? Kral's scales pale noticeably as he responds, That's just it, sir. The humans don't seem to be doing this maliciously. They appear genuinely unaware of the reality-bending properties of their actions. Our Xenos psychologists are baffled. Some are suggesting we classify the entire species as a low-level reality warper. Preposterous, shouts Representative Plick, still traumatized from the earlier dance battle incident. Next, you'll be telling us they can achieve similar results by saying, "What's the worst that could happen?" Or, "Watch this." The council erupts into chaos once more, panic spreading like wildfire. Amid the shouting and electromagnetic disturbances, only High Counselor Dax notices a small human cleaning worker who has entered to empty the waste receptacles. The human looks at the chaos, shrugs, and mutters to himself, "Hold my spray bottle. I bet I can calm them down." Dax feels a strange disturbance in the fabric of reality itself and quickly adjourns the session before anything else impossible can happen. 3 weeks after the council meeting, the experimental warship Infinite Probability hangs dead in space, its state-of-the-art warp drive reduced to what Chief Engineer Marcus Rodriguez would later describe as a very expensive paperweight. Captain Zan of the Arcturian Defense Fleet paces the bridge, his bioluminescent patches cycling through shades of worried purple. Their mission to test the new quantum fold drive has gone horribly wrong, leaving them stranded 17 light-years from the nearest outpost. How long until the engineering team can restore basic function? Zan asks his first officer, Lieutenant Bizik. She consults her neural interface and replies, "The quantum manifolds are completely misaligned, sir. Conservative estimate, 3 months of repairs at a specialized facility. If we can get there, which we can't." Zan finishes grimly. "Because we need a working drive to reach the facility that could fix our drive." The bridge crew's collective bioluminescence dims in resignation. Just then, the intercom crackles to life. "Hey, Captain, this is Rodriguez down in engineering. Mind if I take a look at your fancy quantum whatever?" Zan's patches flash, warning, red. The human engineer had been assigned to their crew as part of an exchange program, supposedly to promote interspecies cooperation. So far, he had spent most of his time making the ship's coffee machine produce something he called espresso. Engineer Rodriguez, the Quantum F drive represents the pinnacle of 7 species' combined technological achievement. "It's not something you can just look at," Rodriguez interrupts. "I already took a peek at the schematics. Pretty cool stuff. Reminds me of my cousin's vintage hover car. That thing was always breaking down too." Several bridge officers gasp at the casual comparison. Lieutenant Bizik's antennae curl in horror. "Sir, we can't possibly—" "Hold my coffee." Rodriguez's voice carries that distinctive human tone that makes Zan's survival instinct scream. "I've got this." Before anyone can stop him, Rodriguez bypasses 3 safety protocols and reroutes power from the quantum stabilizers. Warning alarms blare throughout the ship. "Rodriguez, those stabilizers are essential for preventing reality fractures." "Now, they're just fancy surge protectors." Rodriguez grins. "Watch this." The next 47 minutes would later be classified as Incident 0 in the growing database of human-induced impossibilities. Rodriguez, humming something called Sweet Home Alabama, proceeds to violate every known law of quantum mechanics. He uses a standard wrench to adjust quantum-locked components that should have required specialized temporal tools. He diagnoses complex quantum fluctuations by pressing his ear against the drive housing and saying, "Yep, there's your problem." At one point, he actually kicks the main quantum regulator, claiming it just needed a little persuasion. The bridge crew watches in horror through the engineering cameras. Lieutenant Bizik has to excuse herself when Rodriguez uses a rubber band to hold together 2 pieces of equipment that control local space-time geometry. "Almost got it," Rodriguez calls out cheerfully. "Just need to—" "There we go. Try it now." "Captain." Zan looks at his instruments in disbelief. This is impossible! The quantum harmonics alone should— "Oh yeah, I tweaked those a bit," Rodriguez replies, returning to the bridge while wiping his hands on a rag. "They were all fancy and complicated, but I figured what you really needed was more of a whoosh than a womb, you know what I mean?" He retrieves his coffee cup, takes a sip, and makes a face. "Oh man, it got cold. Mind if I try to upgrade the coffee maker next? I bet I could make it brew using quantum entanglement." Captain Zan's bioluminescent patches cycle through colors, previously unknown to his species. I'll need to report this to command." "Sure thing, boss. Just let me know if anything else needs fixing. That artificial gravity generator's been making a funny noise, and I've got some ideas." The captain quickly cuts him off. "No, I mean, that won't be necessary. Please just sit quietly and drink your coffee." As Rodriguez shrugs and returns to his station, Zan secretly activates his personal recorder. Captain's log, supplemental. It has happened again. The human did the thing, the impossible thing. After witnessing today's events, I must concur with Admiral Kral's assessment. When a human says those dreaded words, "hold my beverage," the fundamental laws of the universe appear to become more like guidelines. He watches Rodriguez attempting to balance a spoon on his nose at the engineering station. "I am submitting a formal request to have all beverages removed from the ship, though somehow I suspect that won't help." In the following days, news of the incident spreads through the Galactic community. The Quantum Physics Council demands an investigation. The Department of Temporal Mechanics starts a new research division dedicated to studying the hold my beverage effect, and 3 different species add variations of "don't let the humans near it" to their emergency protocols. Meanwhile, Marcus Rodriguez remains blissfully unaware of the stir he's caused, focused entirely on his latest project, trying to make the ship's food synthesizer produce authentic Texas barbecue. Captain Zan has already submitted his retirement paperwork. The Galactic News Network's emergency broadcast cuts through all standard programming, its AI anchor's voice modulated to convey maximum urgency. Breaking news across multiple sectors. As human-related incidents continue to defy explanation, we take you live to the Proxima Peace Conference, where tensions between the Silicon Collective and the Organic Alliance have reached critical levels. The footage shows the Grand Conference. Hall on Proxima Station. Diplomat Jackson Brooks, Earth's newest representative, stands between 2 opposing armies of robots and organic beings, all armed to their equivalent of teeth. "Your silicon-based discrimination ends today," shouts the Organic Alliance leader, Ambassador Bloom, a sentient fungal network. "Your carbon-based privilege blinds you to the truth," counters Digital Commander Unit 9, its chrome surface reflecting the conference room's harsh lighting. Brooks, wearing what he calls his lucky Hawaiian shirt, looks between the 2 groups and sighs. He turns to his assistant, a nervous Venusian named Pip. "Hey buddy, hold my martini. I saw something like this in a movie once." The entire diplomatic corps collectively gasps, and 3 different species immediately begin evacuation procedures. Brooks steps into the center of the room, pulls out his personal entertainment device, and says the words that would later be recorded in the Galactic Historical Archives. "Friday, drop that sick beat I've been saving." What follows is immediately classified as a Level S reality distortion event. Brooks, a middle-aged human diplomat with no formal dance training, proceeds to initiate what he calls a dance battle that somehow incorporates both silicon and carbon-based musical traditions. Witnesses report that he's quantum tunneling between dance moves that should be physically impossible and he's dabbing. The cultural implications alone could collapse entire societies, but it works. Within 20 minutes, robots and organic beings alike are attempting to replicate his moves. By minute 30, impromptu dance teams have formed, mixing silicon and carbon-based life forms. At minute 45, Ambassador Bloom has somehow sprouted what appears to be a disco ball, while Digital Commander Unit 9 has developed spontaneous RGB lighting. The peace treaty is signed amid something Brooks calls the electric slide. But that was just the beginning. Across the galaxy, reports flood in of similar incidents. On Space Station Omega, a routine docking procedure turns into a crisis when the station's artificial gravity fails. Amateur human pilot Jenny Cooper. Returning from her first flying lesson, radios in, "Traffic control. This is Jenny, Starship Minnow. I think I can help. But first, hey kid, hold my soda." She hands her drink to her 14-year-old nephew in the passenger seat and proceeds to execute a series of maneuvers that her instructor would later describe as physically impossible, mathematically improbable, and visually traumatizing. Using only her small civilian vessel's tractor beam, basic thrusters, and what she calls "that trick I learned parallel parking in Boston," Cooper manages to stabilize the entire space station. She then docks perfectly on her first try, a feat that even AI pilots require thousands of attempts to master. When asked later how she achieved this impossible feat, Cooper simply shrugs and says, I had to. My favorite coffee shop is on that station." On Mars Colony, a human gardener tells his Martian colleague to hold his smoothie before proceeding to grow tropical fruits in the Arctic environment, somehow breaking both botanical and thermodynamic laws. In the Andromeda Research Lab, a human intern asks someone to hold his energy drink before solving a mathematical proof that had stumped the galaxy's greatest minds for centuries. He does it using what he calls basically the same math as figuring out how to split a pizza bill. The panic among alien species grows exponentially. The Galactic Science Academy establishes a new scale for measuring human-induced improbabilities. The Security Council develops protocols specifically for situations involving humans and beverages. 3 different species begin requiring their diplomatic personnel to carry emergency beverage containment units. The Urian Psychological Institute publishes a study titled Understanding the Human Hold My Beverage Phenomenon, a study in controlled chaos. Its conclusion simply reads, "We give up. Even the machines aren't immune." The Silicon Collective reports that their AI has started asking for virtual beverages to hold just before attempting impossible calculations. They had to implement a galaxy-wide patch to prevent what they termed human mimetic contamination. The final straw comes during a routine survey of an uninhabited solar system. A human geologist named Mike Turner, after saying the fateful words, "Hold my thermos," somehow manages to teach a previously unknown silicon-based life form how to play poker. The silicon beings turn out to be excellent players, but their insistence on weekly game nights severely disrupts the sector's mining operations. In an emergency session, the Galactic Council tries to make sense of it all. "It defies all logic," declares Representative Plick, still traumatized from the dance battle incident. How can one species so consistently break the laws of physics, probability, and common sense? Admiral Krall, now sporting several new gray scales, presents his latest findings. "We've analyzed every incident. The pattern is clear but incomprehensible. When humans encounter a problem that our greatest minds deem impossible, they don't see the impossibility. They just hand someone their drink and do it anyway." "But how?" demands High Counselor Dax. "How are they accessing this power?" Krall's expression turns grim. "Our leading theory is that they're not. They simply never learned that these things were supposed to be impossible, so they just do them." The council chamber erupts in concerned murmuring, which turns to panic when a human janitor enters, carrying a mysterious beverage called a half-calf soy vanilla latte with extra whip. The session is immediately adjourned. Later that day, the Galactic Intelligence Agency upgrades humanity's threat classification to chaotic good with beverage-activated reality distortion field. They also institute a new galaxy-wide protocol. At the first sign of a human reaching for a drink, all nearby entities are to either evacuate immediately or prepare to witness the impossible. Meanwhile, on Earth, humans continue their daily lives, blissfully unaware that they have become the galaxy's most entertaining source of controlled chaos. In fact, at that very moment, somewhere in a small town in Wisconsin, a human is saying, "Hold my beer! I bet I can teach these visiting aliens how to play mini-golf." The galaxy collectively holds its breath, and there you have it. The incredible saga of how a simple phrase, "hold my drink," has transformed humans into the galaxy's most unpredictable and entertaining problem solvers. From dance battles that resolve intergalactic conflicts to pilots executing impossible maneuvers, Humanity has shown that sometimes the most outrageous ideas can lead to the most extraordinary outcomes. As we've seen, the Galactic Council has had to adapt to this new reality, establishing protocols and classifications to manage the delightful chaos that humans bring. It's a reminder that in a universe filled with rules and regulations, a little bit of audacity and creativity can go a long way. So, the next time you hear someone say, "Hold my drink," remember, you might just be witnessing the birth of a new reality. If you enjoyed this wild ride through the cosmos, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more incredible stories from the universe. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about humanity's unique ability to defy the odds? Have you ever experienced a moment where you accomplished something impossible? Share your stories in the comments below. Until next time, keep exploring the impossible. And remember, in the grand tapestry of the universe, sometimes the most chaotic threads create the most beautiful patterns.